Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and today we are talking about Star Citizen and my take on has it been successful or not. Now, keeping in mind it's in its very infant stage of development, let's say. From what we've got so far, we have a few ships, a few multi-crew ships that we can actually use, and an array of fighter ships and also smaller ships as well. We've got one system we can fly around, a good few stations, so there's something there we can actually do. But Star Citizen offers a lot more than this. Mining, exploration, trading, bounty hunting, and the list goes on. We have none of these features so far. My take on this, guys, it is a success. Star Citizen have created something that it's not necessarily functionality that you actually build into the game that makes a game successful. A game that has multiplayer capability where you can create your own stories inside the game, and these stories happen by accident. It was like when DayZ first came out. Was it because the mod was built very, very well? I mean, two guys built it on their own. It wasn't because it was built very, very well. Was it buggy? Yes, it was. The reason it was successful is because the situations that you actually got into in the game. And Star Citizen, as it stands now, without all the functionality, has that in abundance. So is it a success? 100%. Because even that base foundation already of what they've got there so far, they've already managed to create that element of player-driven stories. I'm not talking about roleplay because I'm not necessarily a sort of a roleplay, individuals myself. This is when you play a game and then events happen that are player-driven that create that story. So it's player-driven. It's not intentional, and you can't always make it happen when you play the game, but it does happen. And that's when you sort of walk away from your PC and think, that was really, really cool. That was a really good experience. And you tell someone else and you say, hey, look, guess what happened? We did this and then this happened. It's got that. Now, keep in mind, once we've got all of these other functionalities added into the game, voice comms would be a brilliant one because you could then talk to the crew. You could then talk to people that you join on different ships. You can do it in text at the moment, but I think having the ability to physically talk adds a whole new dynamic to the game. So that's something that I think that really should be at the forefront here. Even if it's a very, very basic sort of voice over IP or something, there needs to be something there. Don't get me wrong, you've got TeamSpeak between, your own friends and maybe an organization and so on. It'd be really good to actually talk to people outside of that group. When you're on the FPS station, it'd be nice to say, hey, look, you friendly? Sometimes when that door opens and you're on the FPS station, your normal reaction is you've got to kill them first. Because if you start typing in the text box, the time you've finished typing, he might have shot you. If you've got the ability before the door opens to say, hey, look, I can hear you on the other side of the door, you call, and he goes, yeah, it adds another dynamic. That also adds to the player-driven story, because now what you've got is you're in a scenario where you're talking to someone behind the door, and if the door opens and they shoot and you shoot back, it just heightens that experience and makes that story for you as a player even better. I've played quite a lot over the last couple of months. I've been playing actually on my laptop, but I've really, really enjoyed the gameplay that I've had. Don't get me wrong, there isn't occasions where you fly around to stations, you can't find anyone, you can't necessarily get people to sort of interact with you. Looking on the other hand, there's been instances where jumped on someone else's ship, we've held the security station, we've moved the noodle machine, we've done all sorts of crazy stuff that has actually been really good fun. And so far, even looking on that sort of base foundation of what they created so far, if you see how difficult it is to create that player-driven story in any game out there, because what's going to make a game successful, particularly for the game maker, is a game that let's say for instance, a streamer or a YouTuber can create a video that presents a story that's not RP, but just happens. It's entertaining. If that's entertaining, it creates advertisement for the game maker. It's a win-win. I'm really, really pleased how it's turned out. And I think once all the features and everything else is added in there, it's going to be an absolute awesome game. If I had to be a betting man, I would say that it's going to be done in the next 1 to 2 years. Looking at what they've got left to do, and there is a lot, it is no way going to be done by the end of this year. Dare I say, it's going to be impossible for them to complete what has been laid out by the end of this year. Does that bother me? Not really, guys. I've been following this game since the very start. I do want to play it, there's no doubt about it. But in some ways, being a part of this process also adds to the journey as you as a player. So there's no point getting stressed out and saying, oh, it's not here yet, it's not here there. You're better off just chilling out, enjoying the content that is there, and then absorb the information and get ready for the launch. Now, the last thing I wanted to say today, guys, as well, which I'm hearing a lot lately, everywhere you go, there's discussions about ships. No matter where you go. The forum, RSI forum, on Reddit, all over the internet, and also in videos as well. Now, I do my flight tests and my video previews. I'm fully aware that every single ship review that I have done, every single ship will change. I've seen it many times where a new ship comes out and someone says, I'm going to sell my Hornet for this, I'm going to sell this for this. Now that's fine, but keep in mind, if you're basing that off how or what your experience has been in 2.1, then that's a misconception. And the reason I say that is even now, the Constellation is far off what it should be. The Hornet is. Every single ship in the game will be changed. Every weapon will be balanced and changed. Pretty much none of the ships have armor yet. None of the ships really have the fully modular system plugged in. How will that actually fit? We're so far off actually having an understanding of how these ships are actually going to be performing in the game that you've got to ask yourself a question. Can you really make a decision right now based off how it's performing? I don't think you can. And I'm aware of that. I'm holding on to my ships. I think once we get way further down the line, 9, 10, probably a year down the line, I'll probably then start looking at my ships. At that point, once all the modular system and everything else is added into the game, I'll probably be in a better place to actually make a decision over what I actually have. Also, the last thing on the agenda today, guys, if any of you guys are looking to join an organisation, check out in the description below. And also a big thanks to my patrons as well for supporting me. That's it from me. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.